Lorne's been in the business for a while. We're excited to hear from him, how his experience has been so far. One thing that I want everyone to understand as you tune into this show every Monday night is this is the voice of the little people. We're not the gurus. We're not the leaders. We are the little people that are trying to share our stories so that you have some way that you can relate and maybe you can change your water too, because it's changed all of our lives. So yeah, Lorne, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Awesome. So I wanted to start off just a little bit with, talking about antioxidants and oxidants, because that's been something that we've been discussing a lot lately. So I wanted to be really clear with what our water is and what it's capable of. Now, as a disclaimer, we don't do any medical claims here, but I mean, if you put 2 and 2 together and get 4, that's your thing. The thing with oxidative and antioxidants is we are all breathing. We're all, as we age, we're gaining more and more oxidative stress and oxidative damage in our system, and that's just called aging. But unfortunately, people aren't paying attention to the fact that with antioxidants, you can slow that process down, slow down the damage, slow down the symptoms, and slow down the doctor's visits. And it's all about antioxidants versus oxidative stress, right? So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm actually going to do a very short demo of an ORP reader. So what this is it's a redox meter, or ORP, so oxidative reduction properties. It's going to measure the antioxidants or the oxidants in the water that I'm going to be testing tonight. And then you can kind of see for yourself if the water you're drinking is doing more harm than good, essentially. I've had some exciting news, Lorne. I don't know if I know you know a little bit about it, but I have been on TikTok. Sorry, Facebook. But I had a couple of videos essentially go viral about bottled water. Did you get a chance to watch any of them?
I did, and I shared them.
Oh,
So
thank
I'm hoping
you.
that advances the cause,
Well, it's
because unless
unbelievable.
people know and understand, they just accept it for normal.
I know. Well, that's it. I did that one, and I mean, I don't know about all of this stuff. I'm just a regular person. I did that one video where I asked Google about Nestle. Oh my God! Like, and you know why I was had that on my mind that day was because Jane had mentioned it to me, that she's been boycotting Nestle for years because of what they had done in Africa. With manipulating the mothers into drinking Nestle water and using Nestle products like the baby formula and stuff. So she got me in, she put me down this hole, and now, wow, it's just unbelievable. Something I found out while I was talking to Google was that there's a Nestle plant less than 10 kilometers from Flint, Michigan, and they pay $200 a year to bottle the water less than 10 kilometers from Flint, Michigan. So what are they doing? They're basically putting decent water into a bottle and selling it back to the people that can literally not drink their tap water. This is the water crisis that we're looking at. And the whole reason that we're looking at this water crisis is because of these bottled water companies. It's unbelievable.
I wonder how they process it and then bottle it.
Well, in Hope, BC, word on the water street is they're not doing a whole lot of processing. That they're essentially just taking tap water, putting it in a bottle, and selling it back on the shelves of the stores of Hope, BC. And people are buying it, thinking that it's better than what's coming out of the tap. And how ironic! It's the same water.
What's the price markup?
1,200 times is the number I've heard. So people are worried about an addict because they say that we're MLM and that our markup is 54%. So 46% of the money goes back to an addict in Osaka, Japan, to pay the people that build these machines by hand to pay the bills, to pay for all the fancy stuff we get. The other 54% of the price tag is distributed amongst us because we're just regular people, and we have an opportunity to help other homes, other businesses, other people, and actually make a living doing it. And they don't spend a bunch of money on advertising or fancy offices. We have 40 offices around the globe.
Yep.
So there's
23
offices, there's
countries.
what's that?
23 countries, 40 different
Countries,
warehouses.
exactly. And every one of those offices operates on the bare minimum. They aren't fancy. They don't have $1,200 office chairs. They don't have excess people just standing around twiddling their thumbs. Enagic runs a real tight ship on their side of things so that they can provide as much benefits for us, the representatives, as possible. And I think that's something to celebrate, not to question. Bottled water companies is 1,200 times the markup, and who do they help? Nobody.
Their own pockets.
Exactly. And I'm so happy now that I finally have a little bit of a voice and an audience that can listen to you. And I try to tell them that the bottles of water are doing nothing for their health, and they're doing even worse for our environment. I mean, the pictures out there are just heartbreaking of, our wildlife, our sea life, everything, I mean, is being affected by this. Another thing I learned this week was there's actually plastic showing up now in our root vegetables. So in carrots, potatoes, that sort of thing, they're finding nanoplastic in so this has permeated our entire planet, and people are still drinking it and buying into it. People worry that we're doing some mass marketing scam, or I don't even know what they call it. Look at us. It's me and you, like, and our friends. That's it. We're not on television telling people that it just blows my mind. It really does. The major scam on this planet, and it's been going on since 1970s by Perrier, is bottled water. And they knew it was a scam when they started it. And now all these people have all bought into it, and they're willing to fight with people on the internet that they think that this is the thing. So I'm going to blow the top off of it, Lorne. We are going to change the world. Just our little old us sitting in our house.
One person at a time will change the world.
That's exactly the way you had to look at it. I always love that story. Christina Liu, she posted it not too long ago about the little boy that was throwing starfish. Have you ever heard that? He's walking along the ocean throwing starfish back into the water. And an older man comes up and he says, "Oh, you silly kid, you're never going to change the world that way." And he throws another starfish into the water and he says, "Well, I did for that one." Yep. And that is exactly what the opportunity that we've got. I'm just so happy.
Yes.
So we move on and do the ORP since we're on topic. I've got everything all set up here. So you can help me. Maybe you can read out the numbers too, because I haven't really mastered inversion of the screen and all that. So the numbers on the ORP machine will show up, and maybe you could help me by hollering them out.
I sure can.
Okay, awesome. Let's go on over to there. Welcome to my little water office. I know you've been here a couple of times virtually. All right, so everything's all ready here. I've got some Perrier. So I'm just going to pop this in, and I'll tell you what I'm pouring every time I do. Perrier is the original. Like I was just saying, you know that. They were the original. They made bottled water, a status thing, that you were cooler at lunch if you drank bottled water and Perrier in the 70s. And then in the 80s,
the advertising.
Exactly. In the 80s, these guys came out, Dasani, whatever you say it, and Aquafina, and they really took over. Coca-Cola, for a couple of years running, has won the award for the highest polluter on the planet. Isn't that something? What an award. Congratulations, Coca-Cola.
Yeah, not one I want.
Yeah, that's not the one we want either. One thing about Enagic, I mean, Enagic's existed for 46 years. And every time somebody succeeds to a certain level in the business, they actually plant a tree. So I think there's about 8,000 Enagic trees right now in Osaka, Japan. They plant a tree for everybody that reaches a certain level, has helped a certain amount of people. So that's pretty cool. They do a lot for environmental, actually. They donate a lot of money to it. And they do a lot for our planet. So we got to send some love to Osaka, Japan today. To all those hard working people in our factory and EWS too. Those guys work 24 hours a day. All right. So we've got the ORP. You're having a hard time seeing it there, aren't you?
Well, it's down low and I can't really see it, so.
All right, well, let's see what we can do here. That's the beautiful thing about our first episode.
I can see 412 or 413, 40, 411.
Can you? So you know what that's doing now? Because
it's measuring the air.
Exactly. And that's
moisture in the air.
No, oxygen. Like there's a theory going around that we're actually essentially allergic to oxygen. I mean, that might be a little bit of a misspeak, but how ironic that it's the thing that keeps us alive, but it's also the thing that kills us slowly. Oxidative stress is caused by oxygen, and excess oxygen in our water, acidic food, like smoking, that sort of thing, is all oxidative stress. But one of the biggest oxidizers of our world, that's the same reason that our cars rust. They haven't been smoking. They're just sitting out there in the oxygen. They get a little bit of a crack in them, and all of a sudden you've got a rust problem, right? So yeah. So this is actually measuring the oxygen in the air. I want to see if I can get that any better for you. Tell me what's the best for you. Does that work?
If you turn it back to, yeah. Well, back the other way again more. I think I can read it. It's
do your best. If not, I'll just
405. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go in and have a look at Perrier and see. Now, some people, when I did a questionnaire on Facebook, a lot of people drink Perrier.
Yeah. So I see it 250-ish.
250, yeah, and it's still rising. It looks like 267 now. Now keep in mind, everybody that's watching. Oh, sorry.
I see 273.
You do. Everyone that's watching, if this number is a positive, it's positive for oxidative properties. So therefore, it's causing oxidative stress in your system. If it's a negative, it's negative for oxidative properties. So that means it's
antioxidant.
Exactly. So now we have the Dasani, I don't know.
284 to 282, 284.
Lorne, do you have a piece of paper?
I do.
Would you write these numbers down for me, and I'll add them later to the YouTube video so that people can see it even more. I'll put it on the screen.
So the Perrier?
Call it 270 was the Perrier. Wow. And this Dasani, this has been open for a while. When I first opened this bottle, you're going to see it with Aquafina. It can hit the 500, 550 mark. Isn't that crazy?
Can you confirm? Am I seeing 320 something?
You are seeing, yep, 300. Let's call it 325.
Turn it back a little bit more this way.
Sorry. There you go.
That's good. So I see about 325.
This is Aquafina. Now, another thing that's been going on, well, I mean, this has been going on for years, is Dasani's actually banned in Europe. They found chemicals in it that were positive for carcinogenic or causing cancer. So they banned it. In Europe, you cannot get Dasani. And I mean, everywhere you go here in Canada, Dasani, like McDonald's serves Dasani. I actually got this bottle from A&W. I wouldn't drink it, but I went there and ate a burger, and I got a bottle of Dasani from there too.
So I wonder what the timeline is from actual bottled water to putting it in the warehouse to shipping it, overseas and getting it to places. I wonder what the timeline is.
Well, they say that the imports are worse because they have to come from farther. You know, a lot of people believe in Fiji, and I'm sure if you go to Fiji and drink the water, it's going to be amazing. But they did a study in 2018 where they studied Evian, Fiji, and a couple of the other imports. Voss was one. And they found that the water had been in the bottle for over 365 days.
Wow.
Now, and on all of these bottles, it says do not freeze them. They have a rough life for a year. They are heated on tarmacs, waiting to go on airplanes all over the world. They are frozen in the bellies of ships that carry them around on the oceans. They have a very rough life. And if you heat these bottles and then you freeze them, then you heat them, then you freeze them, what happens is they break down and they start to release chemicals into the water. They'll also release nanoplastics. So when we're drinking this stuff, we're actually eating plastic.
I'm changing the Dasani up a little bit to
Are you? Okay, I'll let you manage that one.
342.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on over to Aquafina, one of my personal arch nemesis. Aquafina is absolutely shocking.
350.
See all the bubbles there too. It's just, it fizzes when you open it. You know, like that can't be, it's water.
350.
350, okay. Now this one is especially my favorite. So this one is, let's see if I can get that up there. So this is Smart Water Antioxidants. So,
and they have right on it antioxidant?
It has antioxidant written on the side of it. I don't know if you can see that, peeps.
Yep, there we see it, antioxidant.
On the back of it, even more interesting, is it has a warning label that says caution not intended for children. And it is the smallest, look at these letters, and it is not a big warning. It's all as small as the rest of those letters that you can see there. Not intended for children. Unbelievable. This has gone on fire on TikTok because people don't think to turn their bottle around and see if they can give it to their 3-year-old. You just hand them a bottle of water and you move on, right? Yeah. And I think what's going on is it's because the second ingredient on this is calcium chloride. And calcium chloride is a salt. It's used in cooking and in processed foods a lot. So it is a salt, but the problem with calcium chloride is when you have too much of it, it can cause major, major health problems. Burns in the mouth, indigestion, low blood sugar, I'd say that this would be also connected to a lot of digestive issues such as IBS, Crohn's, leaky gut, that sort of thing, right? It is not an antioxidant and it's not smart. So let's go over and check it. So this is how I know if it's an antioxidant or if it's an oxidant.
And I'm seeing 340.
A positive?
Yeah, 336.
I'll hold it up a bit. Sometimes you have to suspend it. I'm seeing
337, 334.
Nice. Well, let's record it at that 334. But if it's a positive, it's an oxidant, right? It's not.
So this is Smart Water, right?
Smart Water antioxidant. And I guess they don't realize that people can check and see if it's an antioxidant. I don't know what they would think is on the back of this bottle that makes it an antioxidant. But one thing that does suggest to me, and this is really good news for our water world, well, somewhat good news, Coca-Cola is onto us because that's who makes this. And they're hearing us talk about truly antioxidant water, and they're trying to recreate it, put it in a bottle and sell it to people. And I mean, when you join into our water world, you know yourself that there's no selling water. That is the biggest no-no in this group or in this whole water world from Enagic. We give away water. Anybody that will take it, like I give gallons and gallons of water away. So do you, every week, to be able to put this into a bottle and sell it and try to fool people. It's just so cruel. It really is.
Actually, it's fraud. Isn't that the word we're looking for?
And it's false advertising. You know, yes. on TikTok, a couple of my followers, they're so sweet, and they're worried that Nestle's going to kill me. I'm like, well, yeah, I've had the thought, but I'm not telling lies. I'm only using my Google. If you don't want people to know this, then I don't know, bury it deeper. All I'm doing is asking Google the right questions, and she's telling me the truth about these companies. Yep. You know, Nestle's one of the most evil companies on the planet, and the information's out there. So whether we choose to look at it or not, I'm just looking at it and showing other people, you know? Yeah. Okay, well, I drank my Kangen. So this is 9.5. So it's nothing, I didn't pour 11.5 or anything like that. This is my drinking water. And we're going to test this for an antioxidant right now.
Yeah. I did put down 320 for the smart water. It's kind of gone down a little bit to 315.
Yeah, I find once it sits at the bottom, like when you suspend it, it seems to go up if you end up using one of these. All right, so the big reveal, to actually see a true antioxidant water. Where are we getting to, Lorne?
Well, I see the negative mark. It's over on the left, but it's negative 550.
Wow. My tap water is a positive 500.
If you could hold that up a little bit more.
Yes, I can do that. Oh, God.
Yeah, there. Now you can see the negative. It's 560, 570.
We can call it there.
Take it back to 530.
Yeah.
So 530.
My tap water is a positive 550.
530.
Negative, exactly. My tap water is a positive 550. My house was built in 1968, so the pipes are really old. And besides having a bunch of rust and dirt and everything else that's in there, it's highly oxidative. So when you're looking at something along these lines, which I can leave that in there, you're looking at taking your tap water, and like I always say, zap your tap. We zap it with electricity. We separate the water. We take all the good stuff out of the water. We separate all the bad stuff, and we drink good quality water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your group.
That's the difference, because if they're bottling it and time dissipates the effect of what they're trying to do, we have our water machines, our Kangen machines, and we're producing water immediately. And it'll last for a few days, a week.
Exactly. 48 hours, really. I tested it because I was doing the trial last month. So I got some water that was over, I think it was about 5 days old. The lady hadn't drank all of it, so she brought it back to me. I tested it. It wasn't as bad as these guys. It came in at around a positive 100, but it did revert. It lost all of its antioxidant properties.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I should probably explain is, why is this water an antioxidant? And very simply, it's molecular hydrogen. And hydrogen's a really sneaky little gas. Even if, you know, I pulled some Superman trick and I put hydrogen in a steel ball and there was no exit. Hydrogen is so tiny that it will actually work its way out of the steel in between all of the molecules and escape. Wow. Isn't that something?
Wow.
So it's the smallest molecular compound on the planet. It is so small that it can escape from anything. So that's why the water doesn't last over 48 hours, is as the bubbles in my bottle burst, the hydrogen gets released into the air.
Yeah.
Another thing for everyone to know is that you do produce hydrogen in your body. This isn't a foreign gas. People get scared, especially in Alberta, because they think hydrogen, like, oh, I'm going to blow up my kitchen or something, right? Because we all know from the oil fields, H2 training. So hydrogen as a medical gas, it's the exact same thing. It's hydrogen, but we also produce it in our gut flora, which has been recently coming to light as our second brain, right? So what's happening a lot in our bodies is that we're eating and drinking stuff that is not good for our gut flora. And then our gut flora is not making enough hydrogen to fight off disease and to produce enough antioxidants to deal with the world that we live in today.
Is that reading minus 622?
Yep, that's minus 622.
Yeah. So I'm going to update this instead of 530, 622.
Absolutely. Yeah. And keep in mind, I poured this before you and I got onto the show here. So that was almost an hour ago that I poured this, you know? So fresh out of the tap, we always say fresh is best. Zap your tap and fresh is best.
How much of that is absorbed into our bodies?
As far as the hydrogen goes?
Yes.
Well, it's really interesting, right? Because antioxidants from food, they think about 30 to 50% of the antioxidants. Like, say I sat here and I ate 5 gallons of blueberries. There's going to be a lot of antioxidants in that, right? I might not feel too good afterwards, but there will be a lot of antioxidants. But because it's engaging my digestive system, a lot of the antioxidants are actually used, because antioxidants are just energy. They're ions that balance unbalanced cells, right? And so it's pure energy. And when we engage our digestive system, it takes energy to do what our body's supposed to do, to work through that. With the water, we absorb way more of the energy and the ions, the hydrogen ions, the energy of this water, because we don't engage our digestive system. So most people, you can drink this while you eat. Don't fear that you're going to mess with your pH of your stomach. You're not. Even I'm going to show you that before we go back over to the other chair there, that you cannot change the pH of your stomach. When your stomach is engaged in making all of that acidic, I hate to use the word juice because that's gross, but acid. If you put Kangen down there, you're not going to change the pH of your stomach. You're just going to change the pH of the Kangen. So it's best to drink Kangen on an empty stomach as much as you can, because then you're going to take in even more of that antioxidant, of that energy that's actually in this water. I was gonna, let's do this, because while I'm here and I have the drops, we can actually do the pH test. Let's see. I feel like stick it on my forehead.
Put it in between the cups and the bottles.
All right.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
I'll move the bottles back a little bit and see.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a little tight here at my...
A little bit of a glare on the light, but...
That's true. I'll just lift it up.
Yeah.
So let's just put a few drops in here and have a look at what this looks like. Now, I'm not big on acidity and alkalinity, because there's better words for it. And my words are oxidative and antioxidative. That's words that we can actually understand, I think. So oxidative is going to be on this side of the scale. Yeah. Antioxidant is going to be on this side of the scale. So there's the Perrier, Dasani, Aquafina, Smart Water, and Kangen water.
Whoa.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe if I take these bottles and put them away, you guys can see that a little bit better. So let's just pop those over here. and have a look at how this actually looks. So we can see that a little bit better, can't we? So this is your Kangen as a powerful antioxidant. This is the smart water, which is interesting because it eventually very quickly turns yellow. I had a customer here in the kitchen, and this actually surprised me because smart water is falling very much on the middle of the scale here. But by the time he left the kitchen with his Kangen water, the smart water had turned bright yellow. So it must be the additives that they're using in there that are kind of faking the pH.
The chemical change, right?
Exactly. And all those chemicals build up in our body. That's the Aquafina, the Dasani, and the Perrier. Now, if I take this, actually, I'm going to take this. So this is the Kangen water. I didn't leave myself much room to work here, but even the tiniest little bit of Kangen water can make a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Geez, that blows me away. 2 years. 2 years of doing this, and it still amazes me. But watch with the Perrier, that's so acidic, and people think that it's healthy, but that it's so acidic.
Really? Oh,
do you see that? It changes for a split second, and then it changes back. Let's see. Why don't I make a big mess and see if I can get myself a little bit of working space here, and I'll show you what this looks like when you add Perrier to the mix. So if you're taking little sips of 7-Up, of Pop, of Perrier, of whatever you're sipping, that's bubbly. The carbonation always makes it more acidic and more oxidizing. Yeah. So let's take this Perrier, the clean Perrier, and add just a little bit to all of these waters.
Wow.
That's just a sip.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Watch this one.
Oh, it took a little while to change, but it's still changed.
It has still changed. And you know, the moral of the story again is if we think about Perrier like our stomach acid, we don't want to be drinking stomach acid, but we do have it. And if we pop a little Kangen in there while we're eating, it's no problem. Kangen, the stomach acid will still do what it needs to do. A lot of people worry about that when they think about alkalinity. They are scared of it, and there's nothing to be scared of. The whole thing with this water is energy. It's all about energy, and energy is the thing that scavenges for free radicals and hydroxyl radicals, balances them, and makes them normal cells. And then you just go on with your life, and you have less inflammation. You feel better. Your bones they move better. Your arms, like Jane was so funny. She came to my house. It was probably 2 weeks into her trial. And she says, Marie, is there any way that I'm high? And I was like, I don't think so. And her arms were working better, but Jane had really bad arthritis. So I'm like, Jane, you're not high, you're hydrated. Because she felt floaty, but it was because all of her joints had started to loosen up because the oxidative damage was being neutralized. That she was actually a little bit scared of feeling so good. She's going to be on our show soon, so I'm really looking forward to that as well.
That's exciting.
Do you have any questions at all?
So when you're talking about free radicals in our good Kangen water, it's the negative charge that is actually searching out the free radicals and destroying or converting them.
Exactly. We do say that there's extra hydrogen, but it's more of the hydrogen, the actual hydrogen particle ends up going to the acidic side of, when we separate the water, we separate into negative
Yeah.
and positive water. The hydrogen actually gets broken up, where the hydrogen itself goes to the throwaway water, the plant water. The hydrogen ion is what's in the Kangen water.
Yeah.
And so an ion, very simply, is energy.
Yeah.
So it will go through the cellular system, this little ball of energy. How amazing is our body? It will go through the cellular system and it will locate free radicals. The only thing, there's a bunch of different kinds of free radicals. The ones I've learned about so far cause multiplications and mutations. So when a free radical is in your cell system, it tries to balance itself. And the only way, if you're not drinking electric water, the only way for it to do that is to steal the ion off of another cell. So what happens is you get these two cells kind of fighting in your system, trying to have one ion. And what ends up happening is they both have a half an ion. When they are not completely surrounded by their ion, their energy, they are more
susceptible for breakdown
and for mutation.
Yeah.
So what'll happen with the water is, yes, exactly that. It'll go in, it'll search out all those free radicals, and it will give it its own ion. There's studies and clinical research that suggest as we get older, our electrical charge, this is what we run on. Like all the hippies were right. We are electricity. We're all one. Our electricity transfers. All of our cells run on this electricity. And as we age, our electricity diminishes and our cells stop talking to each other and stop working together. And that's where our age-related diseases are coming into.
See, we have a lack of hydration.
That's it. That's what it always is.
Right water.
The right water. Yeah, absolutely. If you're drinking 4 or 5 liters of this, you may as well take up smoking. It's oxidative and it is hurting your body. So it's not only about how much water you drink, but it's about what water you drink, you know?
Exactly.
Let me go back down to my comfy chair here. I have some questions for you if you're up for it.
Yeah.
I'd like to shine the spotlight on you right now. So, an interview with Lorne Weber of Lorne Weber Marketing. Lorne also operates Kangen Living Water. So, Lorne, I guess we'll just kind of jump right into it. How long have you been in the water world?
About 2.5 years.
Awesome. And do you are you working full-time or are you still working part-time on your own side?
Yeah, I still have to work part-time.
Yeah, well, don't we all really? That's the whole thing, right? What do you do?
Well, I'm a bus driver now, school bus driver, but I was a draftsman my whole career in Calgary.
Oh.
And it's, it's when the economic crunch first started to hit, they literally looked for the higher paid guys and they said, oh, his wage can keep 3 juniors busy.
I never
Give him a package and let him go.
Really? How long ago was it that you stopped drafting then?
5 years ago.
Oh, is that right? Huh.
So
yeah, I never thought of it like that. But that makes sense.
You know, and I was told by one of the engineers, he was, sad that I was leaving, but he said it's nothing personal because it was purely economical. They looked for the highest paid guy and they said his wage can keep 3 juniors busy.
Wow, eh? I imagine that's happening a lot right now. I know Suncor is letting a bunch of people go. That was just announced just a couple of days ago that Suncor is going to be downsizing. Albertans definitely need to look at different options for sure. Yep. So what do you do in your free time? What do you do for fun?
Free time. Well, I have always enjoyed and loved photography. It's been a hobby all the way to a business. I had my own studio. I enjoy watercolor painting. I still need lots of practice. And hiking, of course. Hiking and photography go hand in hand.
I've seen some of your videos from hiking. You know, I was thinking that would be an amazing time next year when the season starts again or whenever you get out again to do some TikTok videos and show people how beautiful Alberta, Canada is. I bet you people would love to see that.
I still have some.
Oh,
I
there you
might
go.
as well start using them.
That's a great idea. Yeah, for anybody watching, you should go over and like Lorne's page. We're going to put the links in the comments there. He's got a Facebook business page where he shares so many beautiful, beautiful photos of Western Canada and all over the world. Him and his wife Mercy have traveled extensively. So if you're into photography or you would like to have a look at some of those photos, then please shoot Lorne some love, some comments, and go on over and check out his page. That would be awesome.
Actually, I've done weddings in Hong Kong,
Have you?
in the Philippines, in Manila, and also in the US.
Oh.
So, and of course, Western Canada is most of, Calgary and area, Saskatchewan, even into BC, I've done weddings. So
I used to be a server, bartender in a golf course, and weddings, like,
oh
my God, how lucky. And I used to always tell my team, because I was one of the managers there, is it's all the way you see it. How lucky are you to get to witness the most important day for these people, and you get to be an observer and make a difference in their day. And God, we used to have so much fun. We used to do little special things for the bride and groom, and just really go out of our way to kind of make their day special. I absolutely love
yes.
working weddings.
As a photographer, you're always looking, right?
Yeah.
Looking for the emotion. You want to capture the emotion for the couple. So sitting at the reception, one of the people sitting beside me one time, she said, "Do you ever stop looking?" And I kind of thought about it for a minute, and I looked around, and I don't think so. You're
Yeah.
always looking, because if I can start seeing it happen, I'm going to intersect it and capture the emotion.
Well, now you're looking for people to help, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
How long have you and Mercy been drinking Kangen water then?
2.5 years, like literally since we got our first machine 2.5 years ago.
What machine is that?
It was the Level Up Junior 2.
Oh, right.
Which now the Level Up Junior 4 is replacing it. So
yeah, that's a great little machine, both of them.
Yeah. So, I mean, literally, I think I've been drinking for about 4 months this water, noticing little improvements in my body. First thing I noticed was my, if I would eat too much oranges, right? Citric, my gout in my toes would just kill me.
Is that right, eh?
And as soon as I started drinking this Kangen water, it went away. I can eat oranges. And even today, I can eat oranges and no gout. So I'm like, oh, I like that balance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The other one is I had a lot of acid reflux.
Me too, when I started.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's literally all but disappeared. Your self-induced a late snack that's really sweet late at night. Yeah, of course,
you
right?
can always take a little shot of 11.5. Now, they don't suggest drinking that all the time, but instead of taking a Rolade or an antacid or something, you can take just a little shot glass of 11.5. Hopefully that'll sort that out.
I'll have to try that. Well, now that we have we have a K8.
Oh, beautiful.
We've bought a second machine, and we have the K8. It's got 8 plates, and I love it. Mercy's noticing the difference. So,
oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, because she had an operation recently. Has she been healing pretty quick?
She just had a phone consult with her surgeon today.
Yeah.
And he says, "Is there any complications?" And she says, "No, only a little bit of scarring tissue." And he says, "Well, as far as I'm concerned, you're ready to go back to work." And she says, "Yeah, Monday."
That's not good news. She can put 2.5 on the wound too, eh? Does she know that?
Yes, we were doing that.
Okay, good. Yeah, some people don't know, so I just like to make sure that everyone knows that, yeah, topically 2.5 could really help to
It
lower the
helps the
chances
healing.
of infection and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm sorry, I keep going back to my little questions here because God, we could just talk for hours and hours, us. Well, that's a good question, actually. Where do you guys use the water around the house? Like you're using it
Oh,
topically there,
wow.
but are you using it elsewhere?
Absolutely, man. We started realizing that we can use the 11.5 water to strip off the pesticides from our vegetables when we buy it. I saw a demo and I raised my eyebrows. And I'm thinking, we got to try this. The first time we did it, Mercy was shocked. The discoloration of all the pesticides and stuff that's on our vegetables. And of course,
Unbelievable.
the 11.5 pH water, it emulsifies oil, so it strips that off. What we started noticing was our lettuce was lasting more than 2 weeks and it's still crispy.
It's
Anyway,
amazing. Yeah,
so
I know. That's half the value of these machines, I would say,
oh,
is the food aspect.
Mercy would tenderize meat to make her Filipino dishes, right?
Yeah.
And it would take a while for that to tenderize, you know, simmering and simmering and simmering, and then the meat falls off the bone, right? We used Kangen water half the time,
Is that right? Wow.
half the time. So she was like, "It's done already." Like, I mean, how is that possible?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, because you cook like when you get into
Yeah,
tenderizing meat, that takes a long time to get everything prepared.
the flavors we noticed when we're cooking with this, whether it's she makes a sinigang, which is a soup of Filipino soups, and it's like, okay, the flavors are accentuated. Boom! It just, wow.
There's actually, they
She's
did a
really good.
study on that. I put that up not too long ago, but they actually studied ionized water against regular water with, of all things, it was dried shrimp. And they measured it. They had this little scientific tool where they measured the concentration after so long in the two different waters, and they found out that the ionized water was actually 33% denser as a stock. They were talking about cooking and like making shrimp
Okay.
stock or whatever, but it
Yeah.
was 33% stronger in the ionized water, and a large part of that is our microclusters of water that we're breaking this water down, so it's able to permeate not only our cells better, but even our food and our soups and our, all the things that I even use this water in
Yeah.
salad dressings even. The 11.5 can emulsify a salad dressing. And yeah, it's incredible. Thousands of uses, isn't there?
Yes. It's amazing. So even she's even using it with her plants and stuff. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
she had clippings, and she puts the Kangen water in the glass and put the clipping in, and the roots grow really quick. So
yes, you guys have one of the plants that I have in the house here. How's that one doing?
the ivy,
Yes.
she had to put 3 trellises up because it's just going wild.
Oh, no way. Oh, I'm so happy that you guys had it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of coming back into our interview, it's a little willy-nilly because we can just talk for hours, but I do want to make sure that everybody here knows your business name and knows your Facebook page. So can you say that again for us, and I'll put that in the comments.
So I'm gonna our old website that I have attached with our Facebook business page, Lorne Weber Marketing. So it's www.lornewebermarketing, all one word, .net.
.net. Go. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will pop that into the chat so everybody can show you a little bit of love. Go over and see all your water posts and your photography.
Our new name, I
No,
did some research, and I really loved the name. Mercy loved the name. It's kangenlivingwater.ca. So www.kangenlivingwater.ca.
awesome. Okay, well, I will pop that into the chat right away here so that everybody can go over and show you a bunch of love. Thank you so much for being one of my water warriors. We are definitely lucky to have you. You're so generous and you work so hard to bring water to people that maybe never would have had an opportunity to try it. And I just want you to know that you're appreciated, not only by your clients, but by me. I really appreciate all that you do for the water world.
Yep. It is good. It's the slogan that Enagic Kangen, it's change your water, change your life. And I like that because I've actually experienced it over these past 2.5 years. Now, even my own family doctor, now that he's seen me for over 20 years, and now in these past 2.5 years, he's noticed improvements in all of my blood work. And the first time he just kind of flippantly asked me, he says, "So what have you been doing different? What are you doing?" Nothing. I'm not walking more. I'm not exercising more. I'm just driving school bus, right? And so he shrugged it off. But the next time I was in, probably 5 months later, so now this is almost a year on Kangen water, and more blood work, of course. And he actually stopped and turned around and he says, "No, no, no. What are you doing different?" And I said, "Why? The only thing that I know that I'm doing anything different is we have a water machine that produces 9.5 pH water, alkalized. It's like electrolyzed, reduced water." And he looked at me and he says, "Because what I see is all your blood work improving. The last time, all across the board, it improved, improved, improved." So now 2.5 years later, about 3 weeks ago, I saw him again, and he's again amazed because he's got now charts comparing. He can compare all of these numbers, and he said, "Okay, I think it's now time to ask you about your water machine. Can you send me some information?"
Oh, that's fantastic. My God, that is so good. And it'd be so awesome to have somebody of that capacity to be able to help out our little group here. There's a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of doctors involved in Kangen, but to have one that has personal experience with you and with seeing the results,
yeah,
that's something that I'm really wishing for. See that I'll get to meet him someday too.
yeah. He's a pretty good person.
Oh, that's wonderful. So
Once you
before we
find a
get
good
off of
doctor,
here, can I ask you one question? And I know you're prepared because I gave you warning that I was going to ask it. If somebody was new to the business or just getting started, do you have any advice for them?
yeah. If you've been sitting on the fence, or maybe you just don't know enough information on what you are sitting on the fence for, right? You're just stuck in the mud, following what everybody else is doing and not doing the research for yourself. Search electrolyzed reduced water. Search it up.
I'll put that in the
ERW for short.
yeah.
And how it can help people. I mean, ask the question for yourself. How does it help us? Do your research. If you know people who are using these water machines, specifically the good kind, right? We'll share water with you, and you can experience the difference. After you've used it for a while, maybe you'll notice the difference and realize, Oh, we've used it in cooking. We've used it in drinking. We've used it around the house. Um, I'll even bring a, a, a jug, a small jug of the 11.5 Kangen water over to you. So you can maybe try it on your vegetables and see how that it strips it off. I think maybe once you've tried that, you'll start realizing, oh, I think I'd rather have that machine. So my advice is, if you're sitting on the fence, find somebody who is using the water and ask to try it. We're more than willing to um, offer free water.
That's it.
Uh,
And Lauren, you're in Calgary, Alberta, Northwest, right?
yeah, in the
So
Northwest.
if anybody wants to try water, then you can also, we're a big group of people and we're getting bigger every day. But Lauren will help anybody in Northwest Calgary or in that area. If you guys want to pick up water, if you want to connect with Lauren, then please reach out to him. This is what we do. We're helpers. We help people and we help other people help people. This is all a very beautiful water world where we're just lucky enough to have the opportunity to help people in the capacity that we do have.
And we help you in learning about the water.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, there's a free ebook on my website.
Very good. Yeah.
Check that out. I mean, the more information that you can learn about this water, it's much better that once you do your own research, then you start realizing, well, maybe I should try it. And I start realizing that just like everything else, once you start using the water, you're going to realize it is different. Just like the logo, change your water, change your life.
And that's it. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time tonight. I hope lots of people here reach out to you and say hello and get some water. We're all so lucky to have you in the water world in Calgary, and I will be talking to you soon. But thank you again for appearing on the first episode of the Water Warrior Show. So every Monday at 8 o'clock, we are going to be introducing you, or I am going to be introducing you to a different person that is using the water, drinking the water, and sharing the water. And you're going to have an opportunity to connect with them. There's people from all over Western Canada. And every night, every Monday night, I hope you'll learn something new about the water. You'll get to see something that you didn't understand or you didn't know before. And please, if you have any questions, any comments, please leave it in our chat down here. We're going to be on this for the next couple of days. We'll be monitoring the chat. If any questions come up as you're watching the replay, just leave them in the chat. One of us will get back to you. And if we don't have the answer, we will find the answer. So that's our show for tonight. Lauren, again, thank you so much. And join us next week for the Water Warrior Show, episode 2.
Thanks for having me, Marie.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching our show. I'm Jane from Sylvan Lake, Alberta, and I share water.
Thank you for watching our show. My name is Charlotte Chambers, and I share water in the Red Deer, Alberta area.
Hi, I'm a water warrior from White Rock, BC. My name's Michelle with Inspired Water.
Hi, I'm from Airdrie, Alberta. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Rich.
And I'm Daisy. And we love to share Kangen water.
Hi, thanks for watching our show, The Water Warriors. I'm Lorne from Calgary, Kangen Living Water. And I share water. See you next week.
Thank you so much for watching our show today. My name is Marie. I'm from Sylvan Lake, and I share water. I also help people help other people. Thank you so much for watching again. Bye.